Last idea. We looked, and the reason that I showed you the previous slides about our march from bankruptcy to fiscal stability and some measure of strength in our state was that it also brought us to the point where we could seriously consider the next step forward in our fiscal turnaround, and that was some long-time protection of taxpayers. And we looked around at some great efforts that had been made in other states for spending limitations or tax limitations, and for various reasons, none of them seemed to fit our situation. Many of them had led to unintended consequences and sometimes into cul-de-sacs that didn't work out too well. So much as in the case of property taxes, we have placed a real premium in our policy recommendations on simplicity for two reasons. One, the simpler it is, the less likely an idea is to lead to unintended consequences. And two, there's a virtue to being able to explain it in words and terms that can be then debated in the coffee shops and the barber shops and the bowling alleys. That's what 1, 2, 3 was about in caps, and that's what this idea was about. We finally came down to this suggestion, that at any point at which our state is in balance, no debt, and some adequate level of reserve, whatever we decide that is, government ought to quit collecting money. It's a simple matter of principle, really. At some point, is there not a point at which government should simply leave the money with the taxpayer, with the person who earned it in the first place? And I've been thinking about this for months now, and for the life of me, I can't see what's wrong with it, or where it could ever steer us wrong. It's very flexible. It might come into effect in 1 year, but not the next, in which case you're not left with you haven't created a problem for yourself. To me, the right number looks about like where we are, somewhere around 10%. The fiscal officers of the states generally say that rainy day funds of 6, 8, 10% is where you want to be. But if somebody wanted to argue, no, maybe it should be higher. Let's be even more careful. 12%. We should talk about that. I'm just trying to establish the principle I just enunciated. The fundamental center of public policy for me is that if we are to be a country based on freedom, then taxation is really the ultimate deprivation of freedom. Sometimes if I'm in a high school classroom, just to fun around, I'll walk around and say, anybody got $1? Some kid will give me $1. I stick it in my pocket right away, and I keep talking. Eventually, I make the point that, you're now less free by $1. If you still had that dollar, you could go choose what to spend it on. Now, we have to do certain things together to protect the domestic tranquility and the public safety, but we should never take that dollar from a single free citizen. We should never reduce their freedom by that increment without a good reason. And that leads me back to an idea like this. At some stage, government should stop collecting them in the first place. One thing that you'll guard against doing that is the mistake a lot of the states on that map made. When times were flush, they spent the money, they committed the money, and now they're stuck with commitments they cannot fund. I see heads nodding, and I know you all voted no when those things came along, but now you have to clean up the aftermath. So this idea I was asked to bring and share with you. I hope I can sell it in my state. It'll be an interesting debate now. People say, hey, suddenly things have turned down. There's no chance in the world. It's true. There's no chance in the world we'll be able to have an automatic refund next year. Fine. To me, that makes it a good time to debate this, divorced from any immediate effect. Now we're talking about a matter of principle. Should there not be a limit to what government ever takes away in the first instance? I'm looking forward to that debate. And I'm in not with mixed feelings, but with genuine sincerity. I'm looking forward to the difficulties we will have in Indiana wrestling with the challenge of keeping those slides looking like they do now. It will not be easy. It may be excruciatingly difficult. And yet, those are the days we earn our pay, aren't they? Those are the days when we deliver, if we can, for the citizens who entrusted us with public office and with the stewardship of their dollars. And so my thought for you is ALEC and the kind of people who make it up have never been more important. Should feel not beleaguered, but commissioned at this point. The principles for which you each stand and for which this organization stands, the wisdom of those principles is now more apparent than it's been for a long time, and the need to apply them likewise. Thank you for the chance to be here. Good luck when you get home.